Welcome to Fairy Tales -1.
Hello, little adventurers and dreamers of all ages, are you tucked in? Are your ears perked and ready? The story I have for you today is called Pip and the Whispering Willow's Voyage. Are you ready to set sail on a magical journey? Then let's begin. Pip lived in a cozy little cottage nestled at the very edge of a vast whispering forest. Pip wasn't like other children. While they played with wooden soldiers and dolls, that blinked Pip's most treasured possession was an old chipped porcelain bathtub. It wasn't just any bathtub, oh no. This bathtub was Pip's very own shipper vessel for grand adventures. She'd found it washed ashore by a peculiar stardust-infused stream that only appeared on nights when the moon was a sliver of silver. Pip loved to sit in it even when it was dry, imagining faraway lands and the salty spray of an ocean. But her greatest wish was to sail, truly sail, not just in her imagination. One crisp autumn morning, the air hummed with an unusual energy. The leaves, usually a riot of red and gold, seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Pip, as always, was in her bathtub, which she dragged out to the clearing behind her cottage. She was pretending to be a brave explorer charting unknown territories, a worn-out tea towel her trusty flag. Suddenly, a gentle breeze unlike any she'd ever felt began to stir. It carried with it the scent of cinnamon and something else, something like forgotten dreams. The breeze swirled around the bathtub, and Pip felt a strange lift. She looked down, her eyes wide with wonder. The bathtub, her beloved bathtub, was slowly, gently lifting off the ground. It wasn't a violent yank, but a tender upward caress. Pip gasped, clutching her tea towel flag. The ground receded, her little cottage shrinking below. She was sailing, but not on water. She was sailing through the air. Her bathtub, now her trusty vessel, bobbed serenely as the whispering forest became a carpet of emerald and ruby. The wind, that same gentle cinnamon-scented breeze, carried her higher and higher. Pip, initially a little scared, soon found herself giggling with delight. The sky was a vast, boundless canvas of the most brilliant blue she had ever seen. Cotton candy clouds drifted lazily, and the sun, a friendly golden orb, seemed to wink at her. Pip sailed past fluffy white sheep clouds that looked like giant sleeping bears, and even a few that resembled grumpy, puffy dragons, though they seemed far too lazy to do anything but grumble softly. As she glided along, Pip noticed that the wind wasn't just pushing her, it was singing to her. A soft, melodic hum that seemed to weave stories into the air. Pip listened intently. The wind told tales of ancient trees that touched the stars, of rivers that flowed with moonlight, and of islands made entirely of laughter. Her first destination, the wind whispered, was the meadow of mismatched socks. Pip had never heard of such a place, but the name alone filled her with curiosity. She steered her bathtub, a slight tilt of her body guiding its course, towards a patch of sky where the clouds were an unusual mottled gray, like a drawer full of forgotten hosiery. As she approached, the clouds parted, revealing a vast expanse of soft, mossy ground, dotted with flowers that looked suspiciously like buttons and thimbles. And there, scattered everywhere, were socks, single socks of every imaginable color, pattern, and size. Socks with polka dots, socks with stripes, socks with tiny embroidered animals, and even socks that seemed to be made of spun sugar. Pip's bathtub landed with a soft thump on the mossy ground. She hopped out, her bare feet sinking into the plush, springy turf. The air here smelled like freshly laundered linen and sunshine. As Pip wandered amongst the socks, she noticed they weren't just lying there. They were wiggling little sock puppets, animated by the same gentle wind, were playing hide-and-seek amongst the giant clover leaves. A fluffy argyle sock with a bright red toe cap peeked out from behind a dandelion. A long, striped knee-high sock was attempting to climb a tall, slender bluebell. Pip watched, mesmerized. She saw a tiny knitted sock no bigger than her thumb struggling to push a giant fluffy wool sock that had fallen over. Without a second thought, Pip joined in. She helped the little sock, and together they managed to right the larger one. The little sock wiggled gratefully, and the big sock seemed to nod its thanks. As Pip explored, she encountered a wise old wool sock who sat regally upon a toadstool. It was a deep indigo sock embroidered with tiny silver stars. "Welcome, Sky Sailor." The indigo sock rasped its voice like the rustle of dry leaves. "You have come to the place where lost socks find their way, or perhaps find new adventures." Pip explained her journey, her voice filled with wonder. The indigo sock listened patiently, its star embroidery seeming to twinkle. The wind that carries you, it explained, is the breath of the sky weaver. She gathers forgotten dreams and lost things and weaves them into the tapestry of the sky. This meadow is where some of those lost things find a temporary resting place, a place to dream before their next journey. Pip spent the rest of the afternoon in the meadow of mismatched socks. She played with the sock puppets, helped a shy pink sock find its way to a patch of particularly sunny moss, and even learned a silly song from a sock that looked like it was made of rainbow sherbet. When the sky began to deepen into hues of orange and purple, the indigo sock gently nudged her. "It is time, little one," it said. "The sky weaver calls you onward." Pip thanked the sock puppets and waved goodbye to her new friends. She climbed back into her bathtub, the familiar porcelain cool beneath her. The cinnamon-scented wind returned a little stronger now, and with a gentle lift, her bathtub rose from the meadow. She sailed over the sleeping sock puppets who waved their little sock arms in farewell. Her next destination, the wind now sang with a more melodious tune, was the archipelago of floating islands. Pip navigated her bathtub through a sky now dusted with twilight stars. The air grew cooler, and the scent of cinnamon mingled with something sweet like ripe berries. As she approached, she saw them. Islands not anchored to any land, but floating serenely in the vast expanse of the sky. They were covered in trees with leaves of shimmering silver and flowers that pulsed with a soft, bioluminescent glow. Pip's bathtub gently landed on a small island, its surface soft and springy like walking on a cloud. She disembarked, her eyes wide with awe. Tiny creatures no bigger than her thumb flitted through the air. They had iridescent wings that glowed with every color imaginable, and they left trails of sparkling dust wherever they went. They were the luminous sprites, and they greeted Pip with tinkling chimes that sounded like tiny bells. The luminous sprites led Pip on a tour of their floating islands. They showed her trees that grew glowing fruit that tasted like sunshine and laughter. They introduced her to rivers that flowed with liquid moonlight, and she drank from one, feeling a warmth spread through her, a feeling of pure joy. She learned that each island was unique, sustained by the dreams of sleeping children and the wishes of hopeful hearts. Some islands were quiet and serene, perfect for contemplation, while others buzzed with activity, with sprites playing games of tag amongst the star blossoms. Pip spent a magical evening on the archipelago of floating islands. She danced with the luminous sprites under the gentle glow of the moon rivers, their tiny lights illuminating her path. She listened to their songs, which were melodies spun from starlight and whispered secrets. As the night grew deeper, Pip felt a comfortable tiredness settle over her. The luminous sprites guided her back to her bathtub, their tiny lights a comforting beacon. "Thank you," Pip whispered, her heart full. "This has been the most wonderful adventure." "The sky weaver guides all who seek wonder," chimed a luminous sprite, its voice a gentle echo. "Your journey continues, Sky Sailor." With another gentle lift, Pip's bathtub sailed away from the glowing islands. The wind, now a soft, lullaby-like whisper, carried her towards a sight that made her breath catch in her throat. It was a city not made of stone or brick, but of pure crystallized moonlight. Towers of shimmering silver reached towards the heavens, and bridges of woven starlight arched over luminous pathways. This was the city of dreams, the heart of the sky weaver's domain. Pip's bathtub drifted towards a vast open plaza in the center of the city. There, bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight city, stood the sky weaver herself. She wasn't a person or an animal, but a swirling iridescent being of pure light, her form constantly shifting and changing like a celestial aurora borealis. Her voice was like 1,000 harmonious melodies, and it resonated deep within Pip's soul. "Welcome, Pip," the sky weaver's voice echoed, "you who sail in your vessel of imagination. You have shown kindness in the meadow of mismatched socks and joy amongst the luminous sprites. Your heart is as bright as the stars." Pip, humbled and awestruck, could only look. "You have seen the places where lost things gather and where dreams take flight," the sky weaver continued. "Now you must return to your own world, but take with you the magic you have experienced. Let your bathtub always be your reminder that the greatest adventures begin with a dream and a willingness to believe." As the sky weaver spoke, a soft golden light enveloped Pip's bathtub. The light was warm and comforting, and it seemed to fill Pip with a sense of peace. She felt a gentle descent, the cinnamon-scented wind guiding her back towards her home. Pip's bathtub landed softly in the clearing behind her cottage, just as the first rays of dawn began to paint the sky. The air was still the magical breeze gone, but Pip knew it hadn't all been a dream. Her bathtub, though still chipped and old, felt different. It felt infused with the magic of the sky, the whispers of the wind, and the warmth of forgotten dreams. Pip hopped out her feet, touching the familiar earth. She looked up at the sky, which was now a pale, rosy pink. She knew that even though her bathtub was back on the ground, her adventures were far from over. The sky would always be there waiting for her, and her imagination would always be her trusty map. She smiled a wide, joyful smile and ran towards her cottage, her heart brimming with the wonder of the sky. She knew she'd never look at her bathtub or the sky the same way again. Every cloud, every gust of wind would hold a whisper of the incredible journey. She had taken a journey powered by nothing more than a bathtub and the boundless flight of her own imagination. And as she walked, she hummed a tune, a melody spun from starlight, and the tinkling chimes of Lumina sprites, a song of the boy Pip, who sailed across the sky in a bathtub, touching the very edges of wonder. She would always be a sky sailor, even with her feet on the ground. She would carry the sky within her, a secret treasure, a reminder that the most extraordinary adventures are often found in the most ordinary of places, if only you have the courage to dream them. The sun climbed higher, warming her face, and Pip felt ready for anything. Her bathtub, a silent promise of journeys, yet to come, journeys born from the simple act of believing in the impossible. She knew that the whispering willow, whose branches had tickled the clouds as she passed, had also shared its secrets with her, whispering tales of courage and wonder, urging her to always look up, to always dream big, and to never let her spirit be tethered to the ground. The bathtub, her faithful vessel, gleamed faintly in the morning light, a testament to the magic that resided not just in her imagination, but in the very fabric of the world around her, waiting to be discovered by those with open hearts and skyward gazes. She would forever cherish the scent of cinnamon and forgotten dreams that had first called her to the sky, a scent that would now forever be a reminder of her extraordinary voyage. And with that, our sky-high adventure comes to a gentle landing. If Pip's journey sparked a bit of wonder in your heart, a little like on this video would be a wonderful way to share that magic. And if you'd like to join us for more incredible stories that whisk you away to faraway lands and introduce you to unforgettable characters, consider subscribing to our channel. It means the world to us, and it ensures you won't miss a single one of our magical tales. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep exploring, and keep your eyes on the sky.
See you again, and do like, share, and subscribe the channel Fairy Tales.